Alex, Jack Puckett going through some of the big numbers today. But first, what is Vulcan?
Chris, new thing that's been happening so far in Season 3. You can go online, bet real money or some coins on the matches going down every night in the Season 3 Pro League. Here's how to Vulcan, though. First, you create an account at Vulcan.com. That's Vulcan with 2 U's, not an A at the end of it like I did the first time I went on it. Use code MLGCOD for 100% deposit up to $1,000.
That's pretty sweet.
Your first match, yeah, that's pretty nice, to say the least. Then you can join a league with other users. You can bet virtual money or real money. As I mentioned earlier, you draft a team of up to 8 players using $10,000 of salary money. Now, players are worth more or less based off of their recent performances, based off their popularity, and really all different factors that go into being a Call of Duty player. Finally, you select your shot caller. They earn 25% more points. Popular shot callers so far in Season 3, Hook, Zuma, Scump all come to mind. And then finally, you got to fight for first place in your league by tuning into the MLG Pro League Season 3 here on MLG.tv. Chris, we've been doing it all season long so far. Some caster head-to-head matchups tonight. We got Matt going up against you. We'll get to those teams in a minute. First, though, some tips for you guys. Our segment, Boom, Bust, or Bargain. Chris, start us off on this one. Who's the boom for tonight?
Are you ready for the big boom tonight? It's going to be a cheap Crim 6. You know Crim was so angry after last night. Today, you can find them for just $1,383. Crim, one of the best players in the league, one of the best at putting up big numbers. Not only is he the cheapest OG player, he's definitely been able to put up some big kills with some recent role changes. He's been putting up around 28.6, which is not as high as Crim can go. You put him on any other team, I expect 31, 37 even from Crim 6. But he's doing some consistent work on the kills, but also the objective where you can get a lot of money. He's $100 cheaper after OG's loss yesterday.
Really favor him, too, in this Optic Gaming versus ON matchup. We said Ricky versus Crim. I'm taking Crim almost every single time. There's your boom for the night. A big pick for your Vulcan teams. But then, Chris, on the other side of things, our bust, it's who I just mentioned.
I don't know how these numbers were calculated for Ricky.
Yeah, $1,402 at the moment. He's got a .88 KD, the 6th lowest in the league. But Chris, the big thing to point out, just shy of a 28 Slayer rating, the 4th lowest in the league. Max put on here, do not pick in all caps, especially going up against Optic Gaming tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going with Ricky, and you look at those matchups we talked about, Moch versus Formal, Ricky versus Crim, I'm spending less money on Crim 6 and definitely getting more bang for my buck.
Absolutely.
The only concern maybe for both of these players is if this is a 3-0 for Optic Gaming. You're hoping it goes at least 4 games to get maximum points.
Exactly.
Your bargain, though, for the night, Young Royalty has a chance to go in against TCM. Royalty, an explosive player. Tonight, you can get him for just $787. Dirt cheap for a guy with this much potential.
Not only is that dirt cheap, but we've seen Epsilon go to Game 5s 4 times already here in Season 3. They've lost all 4 of them, which is pretty horrible, but they get more points the more games you play. That's how Vulcan winds up working. It's based off of the score at the end of the games that you see on the scoreboard. Also, for only $787, that gives you the opportunity to pick up a player like Scump or a player like Crim 6 and then still justify picking Royalty because it averages at around $2,000. That makes complete math sense for your team.
Crim and Royalty, $2,000. That means you have $8,000 more to spend on 6 players. Pretty good buys, if you ask me. Let's take a look, though, at our picks for tonight. Starting out with My Hair is Great. It could mean the one, the only, Mr. X. He has picked Jerd, Saints, Burns, and Moch. Let's start things off here with Jerd. Is that a good price for him? $1,100 for a .89 KD and 32 kills a game.
I think it's a good price for him, especially with their matchup tonight up against Epsilon we mentioned earlier. Definitely has the potential to go 5 games, but then also confident in his sub ability up against the players on Epsilon. Fully expect him to have a great night. Saints for under $1,000 as well.
And a little bit surprising here, Saints is only averaging 31 kills in the respawn game modes. I expect him to be much higher than Jerd. So Jerd, pretty good buy there. Saints even cheaper than Jerd. This is a guy I would even consider making my shot caller against Rise Nation tonight. Burns off 29 and 19. He puts up a .97 KD, always involved with the captures. That's where you're going to get some bonus for your money. And then Moch, His search and destroy game has been impeccable. So has his respawn game with 33 kills. On average, a 1.09 KD using that bow. The only downside of Moch, I think, is you're not going to get those captures in hardpoint that you would out of some of these other players.
Absolutely. That's a look at Matt's first 4 picks. Now the second half of his roster. Remy, Nagafen, Crim6, and Karma. 2 players from Epsilon, 2 from Optic Gaming. Really, Chris, when you look at it, the statistics, when you look at these players, not the most spectacular, but the potential for game 5s, the potential for big scores out of Crim6 and Karma in tonight's matches were the reason behind Matt's picks. Remy there from Epsilon, a .89 overall KD so far.
And I think Remy is a great steal tonight.
Yeah.
$910 isn't
Cheap
the cheapest, but you look at him, he's dropping almost 32 kills per game. Their maps for a hardpoint, if it goes to a game 4 against TCM, which I expect it fully to do, are going to be Drift and Detroit. Detroit, I've seen Remy put up 18-plus captures. So you could get some bonus points from him this evening. His teammate Nagafen also makes that list. Look for Nagafen to have a pretty big uplink comeback game. I think you could see some good numbers there, especially on Drift when he goes with the bow. OG, though, Crim6, we said he's a boom. He's not putting up massive numbers compared to the rest of the guys on this card, but I definitely would make him my shot caller over Karma.
Well, Matt went with Karma tonight, confident in Karma's abilities up against the likes of Embos on Optic Nation. Should be a great matchup. Chris, that's a look at Matt's team. Now we're going to head over to, well, the team named Big Papa Puckett. If you're wondering whose team that is, that's Chris's team. Here's a look at his first 4 players.
This, by the way.
I did not name this. Max. That's Remy, Crim6, Mochilla, and TP. Chris, what were your thought process behind these first 4 picks?
You know, I agreed with Matt. I'm going to go with Remy on this. Crim, you can't really beat picking up an Optic member for less than $1,400. Moch, so cheap, not even $1,000 for one of the best players in the Pro League so far. And then TP really impressed me last night. I'm hoping that TP can keep it up and keep playing the way he was last evening against FaZe. I think TCM should be able to beat Epsilon tonight. TP is going to be a big part of it, but my shot caller is definitely going to have to be Zuma here. He's my 5th player picked overall, my most expensive player that I drew. I also went with an expensive spend on Attach, so and Scump, as you can see. So really, those are my big 3: Scump, Attach, and Zuma. Zuma, without a doubt, though, has to be my shot caller. I mean, he has been so explosive. You catch him on top of the leaderboard, not only in kills, but also captures, and not only captures, also defends. He's still averaging a 1.13 KD. It's better than anyone else on FaZe. Scump, the only player with a better KD in my lineup tonight. I went with a pretty balanced roster with expensive spends on Crim6, Zuma, Attach, and Scump. And I went really cheap with TP, Saints, Moch, and Remy. I'm pretty happy with my lineup this evening.
Chris, looking at both teams, I'm giving you the win tonight. I think you got this one up against Matt.
Thank you, sir.
Also, the name Big Papa Puckett is just better.
Big Papa Puckett about to flex on these kids. All right, guys, that is it for our Vulcan Fantasy picks. Get your picks in now. The matches kick off in just a few. Jack and Maven bringing you the action tonight.